And our biggest month was about 170 reels that our team managed.
I hear a lot of people in the online business world being like, oh, things are different, things are slow, things are weird. And I'm like, people want done for you services. Like there still is a market for it. Absolutely.
All of our clients usually by month 4 see results where they're like, okay, not only is this so easy and I don't even have to think about it, but also like our reach is up, our engagement's up.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Freelance Friday podcast. Today, I've got a really exciting interview with one of my social media management accelerator alumni, Diego. Diego's doing really awesome things with his business, and I just thought he was such a good example of how much is possible when you take the skills that you learn in SMMA and actually apply them to a real business model that works for you and your goals and your lifestyle. So excited for you to hear from him. But before we get into that, I want to let you know that live classes are back for SMMA. Last quarter of the year, we're going big, we're going hard. If you are a social media manager, if you want to be a social media manager, if you already are one and you're looking to really level up and create a real business like Diego has, I would love to have you in the accelerator. I'm going to leave a link down below with tons more information, and you can book a call with me to find out if it's right for you. So many different things. But I am very excited, most importantly, to introduce you to Diego so you can get inspired by his story, because I certainly am. So, welcome. I want to hear, Diego, a little bit about your social media management journey. Like, how did you get into the world of social?
Perfect. Yeah. So, hello. I'm super excited to chat. I started social media management in 2017 when it was like a big, I think it was kind of the turning point in social media when video started to just briefly break into the scene. It was also the era of YouTubers who were like, do you want to make $1 million? Well, buy my course and learn how to
Yeah.
work anywhere and do whatever you want and never have to work a day in your life by doing social media management. Or I think at the time I saw an ad for paid advertisement and selling that to clients. But I ended
Yeah.
up taking a course when I was in college. And through that course, I think it gave me I was already creative and kind of had my own YouTube channel that I was doing for fun at the time. So it allowed me to kind of learn how to actually sell it to someone. And then from there, I started just like mass reaching out to people in my area. That was in 2018. I got my first restaurant client here in the DC area. And then from there, that was a 6-month thing that I did while I was in college. And then from there, I kind of ended up in the corporate world, was there for 4 years up until basically when I started my agency officially in 2023. I was in and out of corporate marketing, whether that was like a marketing manager or a social media manager. And then my last role was when I was a marketing director and I was actually running a team at that company. So that's kind of what led me to be like, okay, I can do a team. I can kind of take it to the next level. So then I left that and then started my agency. And we're hitting 2 years in September. So in
That's
2023, we
awesome.
started it.
Congratulations. What was it that took you to full-time entrepreneurship? Was there like a defining moment? Was there a client, an income goal that you hit? Like what pushed you over the edge?
When it's interesting because I've been in and out of corporate world now up until the last 2 years, it's been pretty consistent with like the agency life. But I think it was every time I would go into the freelance world, I would love it for 8 months. And then I would kind of be like, okay, I miss the structure and the just the normalcy that like a 9 to 5 provided. I was
Yeah.
also kind of in my earlier 20s, whereas now I think my frontal lobes developed, thankfully. So I'm like kind of seeing things as like, I think the entrepreneur is taking over more just as I get
Yeah.
older. Definitely what led me to fully launch my agency in 2023 was when I was the marketing director of a company here in the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Sorry, that's what DMV means. And that job is where I met my business partner. She was my assistant at that job. So me and her
Nice.
kind of started the department ourselves, implemented everything they needed to have a good social media marketing platform and channel. We amped them up on like YouTube, LinkedIn, across all channels, and it was very heavy video content. From there, people started reaching out to the owner of that company saying, what agency did you guys hire? Like your social media is taken over. And it was literally an in-house team that he just kind of built himself within his company. And I think from there is what led me and my business partner to be like, okay, all these people are going to him asking who's doing it. Obviously, maybe there's something there where they will hire us. So I think that was like the turning point for both of us because we both submitted we gave a month notice. She left in April, I left in May, and then we started this agency that summer.
That's amazing.
So I think that was really the turning point, kind of seeing like, okay, like this is my fourth corporate job, and every time I do a corporate job, I take them from kind of doing nothing on in regards to their marketing world and taking it to the next
Hmm.
level, just with like how they're going about it, how they're keeping track of things, and also really just like setting up their brand for success. Really,
Yeah.
in doing that maybe 4 or 5 times in the corporate world, I was like, okay, I could totally be selling this and offering it as a service for my own company.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was the last corporate job that was like my last straw, my final straw, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to take a second to thank today's sponsor, which is Metricool. If you don't already know, Metricool is your all-in-one social media management platform that I personally use for my business and is a must-have tool in the marketing space. And while they do have a free forever plan, their pro plan can help take you to the next level. And you can try it free for 30 days using my code Latasha at the link in the show notes. You can choose from starter, advanced, or enterprise plans. There really is a plan for everyone. Some of the amazing premium features that are available across the plans are management of multiple brands, analysis of up to 100 competitors, customizable links for any of your social media bios, downloadable reports that you can automate monthly, a hashtag search engine for Instagram and TikTok. You can assign team member roles and client access, and you can integrate with Data Studio for further analysis. So be sure to create your free account today and upgrade to premium while you're at it. You can use my code Latasha at the link down in the show notes to try any of those premium plans for free for 30 days. And that's cool that you met your business partner there. So tell me a little bit about that too, because it sounds like you were like getting burnt out on the freelance thing. I'm guessing you were doing that alone before. Do you feel like that's also a piece of it, is like finding the team
Yes,
structure?
I think it goes back to the type of person I am. I really
Yeah.
value partnership, and I think that like there was more scalability opportunity because we're both in on that energy together. And even just like us being in the corporate world together really allowed us to see how we work together. That was about a year of us working as a team in the
Yeah.
corporate world. So it was kind of seamless for us. I feel so blessed to have met her because she is, I mean, we both took the business where it is now to our team and how we've expanded. I definitely think that for me, having a partner, a business partner, like took me to the next level without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about where you are now. You said, like, do you have other team members? Have you tell me like what business looks like today, 2 years into it?
Starting the first year was me and my business partner. We left corporate job. Leaving that job, we had 3 people come to us as soon as they heard we left that company to hire us.
Mhm.
So kind of off the bat, we had this opportunity of like getting some sort of income to kind of keep it
Yeah.
pushing. So that started 2023, and then I would say by month that was in September, and then by maybe February of 2024 is when we had a video editor on our team, as well as kind of like a virtual assistant helping
Mhm.
us with captions and thumbnails, who now she has become our like the head of our content department. So where we are currently is we have myself, my business partner, another videographer who she supports us with in-person shoots here in the DC area. And then we have 3 editors and 2 like virtual assistants. And
Nice.
then yeah, that's the whole team. So it's I think there's 7 of us total.
Awesome. And you mentioned video shoots. So this is a big question that a lot of people ask, and I'm sure you've probably heard asked in like my course and everything of what's the scope of the work that an agency does? You know, it sounds like you do creative. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like what do you do for clients? Do you do creative? Do
Yeah.
you do copywriting? Do you do ads? Like
So we're a social media agency, but we're primarily in the real estate space. So we're offering video content packages to our clients. So they're all hiring us to create content for their social media, and it's all video. So in a lot of ways, we're a social media video production agency, but that's just kind
yep.
of like a mouthful.
Yeah.
But part of that is so for the listeners, I'll be so transparent on like what our offerings are. Our initial package, which is a bundle of 4 reels. Every reel comes with a supporting caption and thumbnail, and then that's at $400 a reel. So our
Okay.
starting engagement package is at 1,600. That's right now. It's gone up probably 3 times in the last 8 months due to demand and just the amount of inquiries we're getting now.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, it goes to the package of 8 videos, 12 videos, 15. And then we're we have custom packages for like our high tier clients where we have a client that's up to 25 videos a month right now.
Nice. Very cool. How did you fall into real estate?
That was it was so accidental, honestly.
Yeah.
I did the restaurant that I mentioned in 2018, 2019. That was for a year that I did content with them. And then from there, I just reached out to like 10 people that maybe I didn't know personally, but I knew someone that knew them. And they were like business owners. And then out of those 10, one of them were a real estate team.
Yeah.
They had a meeting with me and honestly, we're like, we think you're a little too young to hire you as a freelancer, but if you want a day job, we can make you marketing manager of our team. And then that was my first corporate job. And so that's how I went from freelance straight into corporate because a client I approached or a potential client I approached offered me a job. That's what
Interesting.
led me to corporate world. And then I kind of just stuck there for a little bit to gain the experience and also to gain like the understanding of like what higher executives are expecting and like how to communicate with them, etc.
Yeah. Interesting. And then, so I'm guessing when you left the day job, you and your business partner, those were the types of clients that were like waiting to work with you, were also in real estate. Yeah.
Exactly. They were all real estate team leaders and then some of them home builders that we work with in the
Okay.
area.
Cool.
And that's all within the network that I kind of built from 7 years ago. So
Yeah.
to this day, we've scaled tremendously. I've never made a single sale in my life so far. That's kind of the
Yeah.
direction we're trying to do in the next year is to focus on like growing it how we want to grow it because it's just
Yeah.
kind of grown through word of mouth and it just never it kind of got to a point where we had to be like okay word of mouth is becoming a little bit too much, let's like rein this down. That's actually where we were in the
Interesting.
last 2 months.
Yeah. You mentioned right before we started recording that I think you said you had your biggest month ever in June. And
Yeah,
I feel like that's kind of what started this conversation to have you on too, because I think I posted something about how like done for you services have never been in more demand. I hear a lot of people in the online business world being like, oh, things are different, things are slow, things are weird. And I'm like, people want done for you services. Like there still is a market for it. Absolutely. What do you think led you to that point? This biggest month, was it just like a lot of the word of mouth has taken off? Did you raise your rates? Did
I think it
you
was a culmination of so many things.
Yeah.
We managed to get like on our biggest month we had 21 active clients. That was in from May to June.
Yeah.
um, 12 of them being recurring and then the additional 12 were just kind of ones that came to us for that initial package, like our starter
Y
package.
Yep.
So not only was like every day just waking up and screaming and then going to bed kind of crying, it was like
Yeah.
that for me and my business partner every day. And
Yeah.
that kind of made us face ourselves in a lot of way and be like, okay, we cannot sustain this type of growth. Why is that? It's probably because our project management is a disaster. And that's kind of why we had to reel it back because we're trying to right now we're using monday.com for context and our biggest month was about 170 reels that our team managed, so that's
Oh
170
my gosh.
captions, thumbnails,
Yeah.
huge like quantity, but it was just like every day was as we're like putting out fires all the time.
Yeah.
So that kind of was what made us bring in kind of a new um her name is Karani. She's a team member of ours who we kind of promoted in the last 3 4 months to be head of our content distribution. So she's making sure that when something's done and approved, it's being delivered. She's on all of our meetings to make sure that follow up is done. So she's kind of supporting us on across the board, very much a project manager, if you will. But she also does the delivery too, which helps a lot because I just
Nice.
have to focus on the strategy and communicating with the clients. But it's never that easy when it comes down to it. But we definitely got to a place where we're like, okay, we have to clean up internally. We have to do some housekeeping because we cannot sustain the direction we're going. I mean, even just spiritually, we couldn't
Yeah.
sustain it. Like emotionally, mentally, like all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome though. I mean, sometimes you need that push to see that, wow, okay, this is possible. Now imagine if we can do this again, only smoother, and then scale it. So sometimes you need that sort of just that assurance that you can do that volume, and figure out where some of the optimization. Who's shooting the video? Are you shooting the video?
I shoot a good amount of them. Yeah. So does like
Yeah.
my business partner does as well. And then we have that other videographer who
Yep.
sent to shoots as well.
Yeah. And were all of you kind of just like learned on the job, or do you have, like, formal video experience or figuring it out as you go?
My business partner learned with me when she was my assistant at the corporate
Yep,
job that I mentioned. That's where she
yep,
learned so much of the video content. And I mean, even comparing when we first joined forces as business partners, her video content versus now, she's
yeah,
just basically just as good as me. I've been doing video for like since my first YouTube channel when I was like 13, and I'm 26 right now. So I've been behind a camera since like before I was when I was like in middle school.
yeah.
So
Love
that
that.
allowed me to, and then with the big TikTok wave during COVID, I was like, I want to be a
Yeah,
TikToker.
yep,
So that helped me a lot learn the short form side of things.
yep,
And then by the time I was in the corporate world, that's what teams were wanting. They were wanting video content. So I just like
yeah,
doing that at my day job. And then now it's just video rules my life.
yeah. I think with real estate, people get really nervous about that. I feel like they feel like they have to be super perfect, or I think that it's a little scarier to experiment with maybe for some of my students that I talk to. So do you have any tips or any thoughts on like the types of content that perform well for that industry?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of what we do is like, you have your standard real estate tour that almost anyone is used to, which is like filmed with the camera. It's a very pretty house or shots of the house with nice music that goes with the edit.
Yeah.
But there's not really any value there for a consumer, especially if you're thinking about someone scrolling on social media, like, and they come across this house. If they see something that feels like a commercial and has like, and isn't gonna like stop the scroll, is something we like to say a lot, then it's like, it's a cool video that the realtor paid for, yes, but it's not really doing anything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we like to approach our, even if it's as simple as a property tour. You know, I would tell someone to find a realtor in their area who's producing well. Maybe they have multiple listings a month, they're selling a lot of houses, or they run a team, because usually when you can talk to a team leader, they have their agents on their team supporting their business as well.
Mhm.
And those are the types of clients I think that know the value of social media. And if they're not showing up in a place that they're confident in, then it's a perfect opportunity to be like, hey, I noticed like you had these three beautiful listings. Here's some examples of real estate content that's working right now, which is a property tour with a voiceover and an engaging hook. I never will tell anyone to offer it for free because I don't think that's necessary in today's world. But
Yeah.
maybe offer it at a discount.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to offer it for $400 because right now we're ranging 400 to 500 per reel, depending on the
Mhm.
package. But if
Mhm.
that feels like too much for someone just starting, then maybe be like, I'll do 3 videos for 500. And if you like it, then we can continue the conversation.
Yeah.
I think that B roll is everything when it comes to real estate. So get them talking through the house, cut it up, put a bunch of nice
Yeah.
shots of the property. And if they're a well producing agent and their brand's not good, the odds of them wanting to continue are high.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, fun. So you mentioned that I guess you're not really doing much pitching or outreach, right? Because people are just finding you.
Yeah,
So how does that work? Like, are they just literally just word of mouth, or
I mean,
are you
it's
doing
not.
content yourself?
No, we are not active on social media. We made a website because I got angry 9 months into it and was just like, we're gonna make a website." So me and my business partner, like, impulsively made it one
Yep.
evening and just threw it
Yep.
up and have not looked at it since. But
Yeah.
I think we at least 1 to 3 leads are coming from that, where they're finding our Instagram or someone's telling us their name.
Mhm.
We have a decent amount of Google reviews, so if you type in our name in our area, I think does populate. So we're getting just website inquiries where they're like, "Hey, I want to inquire about like your content offerings," or they're like, "I have a listing coming up and I need a some content for it." And then even my direct sell, a lot of my clients are just sending it or putting me in a group chat. We're averaging probably like 4 to 5, I would say, a week of people
Nice.
that are reaching out on behalf of someone else that told us about them.
Yeah. People really sleep on Google. Google My Business. I'm like, "You guys, we have to have our Google profiles created." I get them all the time too. That's the only time I get phone calls. I'm like, "Who's calling me?" And I'm like, "Oh,
Mhm.
it's because of my Google." Like, people search social media agencies, social
Yeah,
media, yeah, in the area. So that's a really great tip, especially if you're doing localized business. I
exactly.
think, like, real estate, I think there are other industries like that that are kind of old school in a sense, like, they operate with phones.
Yeah.
and by
Like a car
Googling things.
dealership, for example, is another example that probably
Yes.
operates a little more archaically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times social media managers, we live so in the social media world that we forget about those little things. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, drop off business cards to your local like real estate, team or whatever. Like those things probably will go further than creating a million pieces of content that other social media managers are probably going to be watching more than anyone else. I'm curious about your pricing because this is another challenge that I think a lot of people have. How did you decide on that $400 to $500 a reel number? Like what was your price? And I know you said you've raised it a few times.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly was just like me starting to assess my worth based off
Yeah.
of the amount of people that were like, for example, when we first started pricing, maybe it was, I think, 180 to $200 a reel. And then we got to a certain point where people were not even batting an eye, the people reaching out to us. So
Yeah.
that was our first inkling of being like, okay, maybe it's too cheap because they say they worked with all these other people and then we tell them our pricing and they're like, oh, sold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
uh, we got to a point where it's like, okay, maybe we need to raise it a little bit. And also, like, we're kind of understanding our product a little bit more. And like, it was before, like, yeah, we can do that, 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 that. And then it just kind of fizzled out to being like, no, these are our offerings. So I think it more so just the supply and demand thing gradually, as our like value increased because we were getting more and more results for our clients. We were
Yeah.
getting more and more people who were reaching out to us. And as we started to scale the team too, it's like, okay, does it make sense for us to do a four reel package for $800 if it's going to take us a total input of maybe 10 hours when it comes to like video editors doing it? Because it's not just me doing
Right.
it now, you know?
Right.
So all of the people involved. We need to make
Yeah.
sure that like the cost analysis makes sense, but there are still times where I feel like we're on the cheaper side,
Yeah.
especially just for like how seamless we make it for our clients. But yeah, it was just a gradual increase every time we kind of started to get more and more people reaching out.
Yep. You mentioned results. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like, how do you communicate results for your clients? Do you do like reports,
Yeah,
meetings?
we do analytical reports each quarter for our clients.
Hmm.
We also like, I don't know if we call them on our team the algorithm gods because we feel like we are tapped in with them.
Yeah.
And I think it just goes to, and at the beginning, there's probably some imposter syndrome for us where it's like, wait, why is this working? I don't know.
Yeah.
But then
Right.
after every other client started seeing results with the same, because it's all organic strategy. What we're doing is like understanding who you are, what you're doing. Okay, now let's create content. And if you do this for 12 months, the odds of the algorithm picking it up, if it's good, are pretty strong if the strategy and implementation is good, right? And all of our clients usually by month 4 see results where they're like, okay, not only is this so easy and I don't even have to think about it, but
Hmm.
also like our reach is up, our engagement's up, our following is up. And for the real
Yeah.
estate clients that are with us, we have clients that are with us to this day that have been with us since September of 2023.
Nice.
And that's because after like the brand awareness increases, they started getting more people DMing them like, hey, I saw this property, do you have other ones like this? Our best in one of our top client accounts has, he's one of our first 3 clients. He's generated each year over $100,000 in like actual income that's coming directly from his organic Instagram content.
It's
And
amazing.
that's just from people saying like, hey, I love your content, we're looking of buying a house, or hey, I love how
Hmm.
presented this listing, we're thinking of selling, can we talk? I've been with him before when he gets a call and they're like, I saw your TikTok and I'm interested. So cool to see. But
Yeah.
it also like in his mind as a business owner, like the ROI is there, and then it's kind of like, okay, it's no question because he's making back what he's investing times 2.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then we have other clients who have gone viral and turned monetized certain pages like on TikTok. They hit certain metrics to start making money off their videos.
Nice.
And yeah, I think the proof is in the pudding. So and it just
Yeah.
takes time when it comes to organic strategy. Time is everything, and I think
Yeah.
that's really important to communicate with clients. Like, okay, like the first 3 to 5 months is really just like establishing that brand.
Yeah.
one of our builder clients, for example, the first 6 months was pretty rough in building their brand and seeing like little to no results organically.
Yeah.
But like I said, the algorithm gods
Mhm.
helped us out and they went
Yeah.
viral on every single platform all in 1 week.
Wow.
And that was on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And on every single one of those platforms now, they have over 10,000 followers and like millions of views, millions of reach.
Yeah.
People are like going to their website from social. So I really think when it comes to organic, you just have to like be patient and trust in that like you're doing good content. Obviously, if the content's not good,
Yeah.
maybe like try and refine that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's a question I get a lot too, is like, well, how do I how do I know if it's working? Or how do I, how do you know if it's we just need to give it time versus we need to adjust the strategy? Maybe we need to change something in the creative direction.
So that's interesting too with what we're going through right now. Cause I mean, even your personal brand, I've been watching you for like maybe 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
and I feel like you just have that one video that pops off and you're like, okay, well, let's just clearly
Yeah.
something worked here. Even if you at
Yeah.
the time don't know what it is, right?
Yep.
So I think on a small scale for someone working with a new client, it can go from like, okay, our videos are consistently getting 200. This one got 1,600 views. Why is that? Let's think about what we can do here.
Yeah.
And I think for organic, having like collaborative content with other people who are posting on social media is so powerful
Hmm.
to get that organic reach, especially if you are providing them with like good content.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who, maybe have such a good personal brand, but don't have the support of an agency or even a talented freelancer. So there's value in like bridging that gap between your potential client, and someone in their network.
Right. Yeah.
I think you had a question though. I forgot. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was saying like, how do you know the difference between just signed a client, maybe things are going a little slow, you're not getting a viral video right away. How do you know if it's just okay, we need to continue on that path versus maybe we need to change something creatively, like maybe our content strategy just isn't good.
I have 2 points to that
Yeah.
because we've had obviously the scenario where it's not working. It's like, okay, why isn't this working? Let's think through.
Yeah.
Usually, I think like if we do a quarterly report with the client, so 3 month review, and there's like all the numbers are down, and then that's usually a signal of like, okay, we need to do something here.
Yeah.
That just happened with the client where certain metrics were down that we're like aiming to improve on now.
Yeah.
And that is then we kind of when we go back to the writer's room and we're like, okay, what can we do here to like provide some sort of boost
Yeah.
and to get things back on track and for growth. Whereas we have another client who's seeing a slow and steady growth. We're also having a conversation this week of kind of taking it to the next level because he's happy with the growth he's getting, but he feels like it could be more. And
Mhm.
it could be more if we kind of really like double down on what we're doing and what's working and like taking it to the next level. That's the one who's currently at like 23 posts a month that I mentioned.
Yeah.
But we're in the process of potentially making him like the
Yeah.
biggest package we've sold, but it's
Yeah.
like really, really focusing on that personal brand because a lot of what
Mhm.
we're doing right now is for brands, team,
Yeah.
or companies. So in a lot of ways, it can be A plus B equals C. Where
Yeah.
I think even as you know in your experience, when it comes to building a personal brand, there's like a little bit more like I think especially now with how personal brand and storytelling is going in social media, that like having a powerful personal brand and really, 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 really selling who you are and how you like view your lens on everything,
Yeah.
I think is so important. But that's like really, really like it takes TLC.
Yeah.
For example, I used to have a personal brand when I was doing freelance stuff that I was building on TikTok, and I built like my TikTok following pretty decently. I like don't have the capacity right now with how I'm servicing my clients to also like I mean,
Yeah.
props to you because you're killing it. You were doing
Yeah.
like both all the time.
Yeah.
But I personally don't have the capacity to do that.
Yeah.
What we're doing right now with the client who has seen growth but wants to take it to the next level is we're looking at the strategy. We're like, okay, in this quarter, you gained 1,400 followers. Why is that? Okay, it's because these videos did well. So let's start doing more of this. And maybe let's even do a series on this type of thing. And that's to kind of take it to the next level from like, okay, we're doing property tours, we're doing informational videos. Now we're
Yeah.
going to do a video of like, we're starting a series for a house that he's developing right now. People love
Yeah.
a good series,
Yep.
especially if you show like the trials and tribulations and all the stuff
Yeah.
behind. So that's kind of how we're taking a client who's doing well but wants to take the strategy to the next level.
Mhm.
We just kind of go back to the writer's room, if you will. And
Yeah.
then same thing for when after like 3 months, if it's not working for a certain client, then we're going to try and pivot with the type of content we're doing. So the home
Yeah.
builder, for example, 6 months, even they were like, okay, we have 100 followers on Instagram. What's going on?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, just give it time. Just give it
Yeah.
time. Which sounds like an excuse, but I swear we gave it
Yeah.
time. And now they
Yeah.
have, 13,000 followers on TikTok, 11,000 followers on Facebook. And that all happened with one viral video. It just took one
Mm.
viral video.
Yep.
A lot of it was local too. So like they had an open house recently where people were like, I love your building content. But we did change the content. So in that, we went from just showing pretty little like development things of projects to really like the client being like, okay, so this project here, we're in the process of adding the trim here. It's going to be done in
Yeah.
2 weeks. This is the vision. The client really wanted da da da. That stuff popped off, but that also
Yeah.
goes back to the storytelling aspect that I was mentioning, which I think is key for video now. People are like using it as TV, so you
Yeah.
need to like keep them there.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you said that, I'm like, so kind of like HGTV style, like is what you took it from being just like a catalog almost to let's make it editorial, like let's make it like a show.
Yeah,
I definitely think
exactly.
that's what people want to be taken along for the journey. Even if it is building a house, people want to like see the process and,
And people have hot
experience
takes.
that.
They can see something and be like, "That's horrible." Like, one thing
Yeah.
that went viral was, like, the attic was too small, and they were like, "This custom-built house with the smallest attic," like
Yeah.
and then you can make a follow-up video on that about why your attics are great because you do
Yeah.
this and this when designing it, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure. Interesting. I love that. I just have to mention, you keep mentioning Facebook, and I feel like people sleep on Facebook too. We're talking about Facebook and Google today. So, with your videos that you're creating for your clients, can you talk me through that? Like, do you think one platform first and then kind of repurpose? Are you creating different content? Like, what's your strategy for the platforms? Or are you just delivering the videos and then they're posting them themselves? Like, what's that
So,
look like?
for the most part, for our recurring clients that are on, like, our premium packages, which
Mhm.
is I would say there's 5. They
Mhm.
are, we're posting for them.
Nice.
And then the other, like, 6 or 7 that are on, like, that starter package, it's kind of just the content package that we deliver to them,
Yep.
and then they post as they see fit.
Nice.
And then in regards to the next question was
Different platforms. Like, how
different
do you Yeah,
yeah.
because when you're creating, I know some people are like, "I think TikTok first, because TikTok, like, drives culture, right?" And then or is it different for you?
I
How do
think within
you
our niche, like, if the content's good, we post them to Facebook Reels,
Yeah.
Instagram Reels, and TikTok,
Yeah.
and then YouTube Shorts if they have the account. Just because it is like, we're going at this on a short form lens, and everything that we're selling them is whether it's 4, 8, 12, or 15 of it, it's a video.
Yeah.
So it's cropped and can fit on all of those platforms.
Yep.
And people sleep on Facebook, but Facebook Reels are in right now, and like
Yeah.
we've had some great results for our clients. Where I have to make a guilty confession, but one time there was a video that went viral on Facebook, and I didn't know until like 10, maybe like 2.5 weeks later, where I
Right.
went and looked back on Facebook and was like, holy cow. So definitely don't sleep on Facebook. And now we are so certain we make sure it's posted on all of the platforms if we're posting for them because
Yeah.
it allows for like, a lot of the algorithm is kind of like you're playing poker and it just allows for more draws.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, well, I think the last thing I wanna know about is your team dynamic a little bit. Like, how do you you mentioned Monday.com. How do you keep everything organized? Do you have, like, regular meetings with your team? Do you have any tips on that? Because I know a lot of people wanna scale to the agency model, but it freaks them out.
Since like we kind of built the ship while the ship was going,
Yeah.
we're at a place now where like, okay, this is not like we need something that's actually like more like a client. There's client portals and like we can. There's never a question about anything.
Yeah.
I haven't mentioned anything about AI, but I
Ooh,
wanted
yeah.
to today because AI
Yeah.
has like changed how we're operating, and
Yeah.
there's this thing called Read AI. It's like
Mm.
there's so many versions of it, but it's basically like to me, it's like to us, it's like an AI assistant within our business. So it's on
Mm.
our calendar, it has access to our Gmail, and it has
Okay.
access to all of our calls. So I can literally use Read AI to like type in what's the status of this project with this client. And it's going to go through our email. It's going to go through our calendar, any correspondence we've had on that. And then
Yeah.
it'll be like, okay, based off of this conversation on this date, it seems like this client's waiting for X, Y, and Z.
Interesting.
And it goes beyond ChatGPT's ability
Yeah.
to like support you because it is sourcing from all of your different platforms that you're using as a business owner. It's basically having a search engine of like things that are happening in your business.
Your life. Yeah.
Yeah,
Your business. Yeah. I love
very
that.
cool.
I
I
need
worked
that.
with it for an hour today on like this proposal we're working on because it has
Uh-huh.
like a transcript of everything, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just insane, insane, insane.
Yeah.
But in regards to our, you asked about the team structure, right?
Yeah. Just like, how do you guys stay aligned on everything?
Monday.com is what we're
Y-
using, and it is just like I think there's definitely room for improvement on how we're staying aligned. And I would say
Yeah.
our project manager, she is like our queen and our
Yeah.
savior because I mean, that's kind of why we knew we needed someone that's like a little bit more detail oriented because me and my business partner are both very visionary.
Yeah.
So when it comes to implementation, we definitely needed support there, and she helps. But we're still constantly improving that. In so many ways, we're very much a startup, about to hit our second year. And we're in the process this last half of the year to nix Monday and start using Notion as our like
Okay.
full and Go High Level. Or have you heard of Go High Level?
I have. Yeah. Yep.
So we're
It's
going to
very
start
cool.
using Go High Level. Have you used it?
I have. I actually just signed a partnership agreement with them. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
I'll be doing a lot of videos and stuff about them soon.
Love them. So has it been helping you? Is it like,
Yeah, I like that everything's all together,
mhm.
like email, landing pages, all the things.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. And that kind of goes back to like having I need like little worlds for my clients, and
yeah,
that with Notion, I think is going to be something that can take us to the next level in regards to
yep,
organization. Because
yep,
Monday.com, I would not recommend it for someone who goes beyond like 4 clients,
yeah,
especially when it comes to like it's good for having lists and boards, but when you kind of start to scale, I feel like you really, really need to be organized on all the moving parts.
yeah,
So that infrastructure is important. But
for sure.
I think when we started, Monday.com was like, okay, yeah, this works. But we're kind of in the process of hopefully Notion and Go High Level will change our lives. From everything I've been consuming about it, it seems like they're both great.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. What's ahead besides the new client management systems and all of that stuff? What are some of your goals like with the business?
I think that's also part of what we're going to focus on this second
Yeah,
half of the year is because we kind of just like hit the ground running, and like
yeah,
there wasn't really like me and my business partner, our key word for the rest of the year is like clarity and vision because we need to
yeah,
like we just were like yes men saying yes to so much
yeah,
stuff, and then we got to a place where it's like okay, whoa, like we need to like what are we even doing here, you know?
yeah,
So I kind of think that's where we're at right now. We
yep,
have so many clients that are seeing great results and very happy, so we're going to continue, working with
yeah,
them and focusing on those partnerships. I think really we also want to like develop people in our team so we have
yeah,
other leaders that are like within our
yeah,
agency because we don't have team meetings. So that's something that we're trying to have more of is to
yeah,
like actually create a culture is really
yeah,
important for me. So that's something that we really want to focus on. Even if that
yeah,
means like we're slowing down on client work, but as
right.
long as we're not losing money, we're going to keep pushing.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, any final words of wisdom for all of the new and aspiring social media people out there?
I would say that if you don't have a client and you're feeling discouraged about it, I truly think it's a numbers game and you just need one person to say, I'll try it, even if it's at a discounted thing.
Yeah,
And that's, you just need to put your foot in the door somehow.
yeah,
And I think just treating it like a numbers game is really important because someone will say yes if you ask 300 people.
Yeah. That's great. I literally just said that on a webinar earlier today. I was like, when I first started my business, I forced myself to do ten outreach type activities a day. So whether that was posting on my social media, applying for things on Upwork, emailing, going through my inbox and emailing people, like doing a cold email pitch. And I didn't do that very long. It didn't even take me probably weeks or months of doing that every day before I was like, all right, I'm booked out. No more
Exactly.
outreach. Yeah. So it is. It's a numbers game. You got to stick at it, stick with it. Well, thank you so much. Where can people learn about you? And, if there's any potential DMV real estate people listening, where can they
Yeah.
hire you?
So our Instagram is argomedia.dmv, and then our website is just argomedia.io.
Nice.
Hit us up. Even if you just want to talk about like your trials, tribulations, frustrations, I would love to chat because I have been there. Sometimes I feel like I'm still there with how much we're changing our business every year. So
Yeah,
and I'm sure you get that too with like the pivots,
for
and
sure.
it's a never
Totally.
ending roller coaster that we're all on. But
Yeah, it's always changing. We're always reinventing ourselves, but that's also what's really fun about it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I got very bored in corporate. So I'm like, this is why I do this. So I can change and pivot and yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, thank you so much. It was so amazing to chat with you.
Yeah, you too.